Hi, everyone. This is Stanley and Otito from the Great Couch.
This is Stanley. That is Otito from the Great Couch. Okay.
And today we have a very special set of, is it guests? What should we call you people?
Individuals.
Individuals. Remember, we said we're now in the phase of, inviting guests to our couch. And you can see that these people are guests because we look like homebodies right here. We're just in our house and they're visiting us. So this is how you go visiting people, the Niger way. You have to dress up.
No. But the Niger way represent. But anyway, let's just leave that
alone. You
have
to dress up. So the colleagues are dressed up, right? And I think I just gave you, a hint of their name. But let's introduce our distinguished guests.
We're distinguished.
The Ezeokolis, doctor and doctor, the physician power couple, right? So I'll let them introduce themselves in a minute, but just know that there's a lot of education going around here because Dozie is a teacher of doctors and yours truly is a teacher of pharmacists, I guess. But over to you, the Ezeokolis. Introduce yourselves, 1 minute each. Tell us who you are before we tell people what the connection is between us. So go ahead.
Okay, well, let me start because in this dynamic, right, there's a silent part and there's a speaking part.
Okay.
And the silent part, right? So I'm Dozie and I'm a medical doctor. Mm-hmm. I work in Cook County. And that's about it. Okay.
Dozie is not telling us that he's a pastor. These are the people who are ordained, right? Some of us are just like, tagging along. Some of us are laymen.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Dr. Shola.
Okay. It's my turn. Okay.
I used my time.
I didn't know you were done. Actually, I don't want me to introduce him. I'm Shola Ezeokoli. I am a doctor. We both are because we met in medical school. I'm a physician. I'm a life coach and author, 6-time author, and a motivational and public speaker.
Fantastic.
We know who the silent part is and the speaker part. Thumbs up, bro. I feel you, bro.
Okay. So what's the connection between us? We've known these people a long, long time. And if you read the book, this is the musketeer right here. This is are you the second or the third now? Should you claim the title of first? Which one?
Second is always safe. Third, actually.
Second is safe.
Second is safe.
Second is safe. You're right in the middle. But yeah, we come a long way. So we apologize if you kind of see us doing some inside jokes here. But the idea is that we're here to have fun, right? This is like a house visit on the couch. So now, tell us, how long have you been married?
We've been married for 18 years.
And how long have you known
together,
each other?
Right? Because there's married and then there's
been together. Yeah.
So we've been together for about 23 years. Mm-hmm. We were together 7 years before we were married. So make the calculation. Mm-hmm. Usually they say it's a man that forgets.
That's 25, right?
That's 25. You all are no spring.
Yes, there you go. But you don't know whether he's forgotten or not because he's not saying.
You all are no spring chickens. I love it. Yeah. But on the Great Couch, we call it this is like the mid marriage, right? Because we have 0 to 10 as early, 11 to 19 mid, and then when you're over 20, then you say you're seasoned. So you will have 2 more years. You have 2 more years
before the marinade kicks in.
To get to seasoned. Okay, so let's jump right into it, right?
A little bit of backstory. Mm-hmm. They were actually at our wedding.
Yeah.
Just at your wedding.
As best man
and chief bridesmaid. So when we say we go back a long, long way, that's part of it. Okay. Okay, so you all pick topics, right? Because on the Grey Couch, we kind of give everyone, tell us topics you want to talk about, and you picked two of the biggest ones, right? You picked conversations and cradling. So that's communication and parenting. So we'll go back and forth in terms of the different questions that we have for you. So Mr. Stanley is going to start.
Okay, I'll just throw the first question out, and I think we'll let Dr. Ezeokoli answer it first.
Which one?
Dr. Ezeokoli.
You don't have to specify.
Whenever you say Dr. Ezeokoli, you know the one.
To support.
Okay. So, question 1: what does authentic communication mean to either of you? How do you ask for it from the other party? And how do you ensure you get it from your partner?
Either way, just in between, we're talking about authentic communication. So what does it mean? How do you get it? Like, how do you know that you're getting authentic communication? Right? And how do you request it?
The other party. Okay.
Lunch.
We knew this was good.
We knew, but it's like, okay. Yeah, okay.
Authentic communication to me means being able to be truthful with your spouse. But unfortunately, people, a lot of times you hear phrases like, the blunt truth and the bitter truth. But I think that when you live with somebody, you really have to be careful about those bitter truths and blunt truths. I always say this, and I say this to clients and people I meet, like when I'm speaking, the truth does not have to be bitter. The truth can be nice. You can tell somebody the truth in a nice way. You can tell somebody the truth in a way that doesn't make them feel like you're trying to beat them into submission. And you can be truthful and nice, because the longer you live with somebody, if you're into that so bitter truth, heavy truth, blunt truth, after a while, it starts to wear, it's like then it all stacks up together. And then the person, now they don't like you anymore because your truth is not.
They don't like you anymore. Support. What do you have to say?
What he said. Okay. So I mean, what do you say? Authentic communication.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there are different parts to it, right? And one part of it is being honest and being true to who you are, right? So that your communication reflects who you are, not some image you're trying to portray.
That's
right?
good. That's good.
Because if you portray an image, in the long term, you want to be you, right? And so, however you are, if you're flawed, if you're, you have weaknesses and all that, that's who you are. And in the end, you might go to work and want to portray an image, but when you're at home, you want to be authentic, you want to be real, you want to be just the way you are. That doesn't mean that you should not work on your weaknesses, but you should be able to communicate based on who you are, right? And then the communication, I think that so I like to deal with the part that I have to play, right, when it comes to communication. And I think that the biggest part of communication is trying to be heard. And more importantly, listening to hear, not listening to reply. So there's a way that a conversation is going, and one person is speaking, and you're like, okay, I got this point. I'll just write. That's wrong there. That's wrong there. And you're just getting ready for your reply, right? And in the end, you guys end up being a debate squad, and you're debating each other, and there's no resolution because everybody's trying to win the point. But with communication, you want to listen to hear, right? To listen to hear what the other person is saying. What beneath all that's going on, what they're actually saying. The last thing is that when you're communicating, right, it is important to always have in the back of your mind that it is possible that it's me. Right? It's possible that I'm wrong. No matter how right you think you are, right? Because if you don't think that, you can't hear what the person is saying. You're just, getting defensive, matching your points. But you always have to think, it's possible that there's a part of this that's my fault. Or there's, and that kind of helps, the way you react, right? Or if it does turn out that you are at fault, you can actually see it and accept it.
Okay.
Wow.
Thank you. That was a gem. Deep. So now my own question. So part of being authentic is owning your voice. My voice is very loud. So everybody listening, don't be angry. Don't be angry. I have a very loud voice. So now the next question is, have you ever had misunderstandings related to an inability to communicate? So this is a question of, my partner is not hearing me, talk less of understanding what I'm saying. Like they're not even, I don't feel like they're hearing me. So have you had, like a misunderstanding or conflict related to that? And how did you resolve it?
Examples, please.
Okay. So just to get myself out of this, right? when it comes to example giving, all right. I'm bad at examples. I remember the example, but
That's another communication fight. Yeah,
I know. Okay, so
I'm sure we have. But I think that I'm going to say that I think that a number of the misunderstandings we've had around communication really, again, please correct me if I'm wrong, babe, but I think they really have to do with outside issues and issues relating to outsiders. Either maybe an organization or another person, and one person is like trying to explain this other person's point of view. Sometimes I'm like, wait. We don't have a person where we've had a different view of how to approach a certain outsider's actions. And so it's not even so much as the other person didn't hear, it's more about this person thinks that this issue should be handled this way, and you think the issue should be handled this way. I think the issue should be handled this way, but usually it's still with outsiders. And disclaimer, I'm including kids in those outsiders because
I love it.
Oh, okay.
We are going to get there, right?
Okay,
We're going to get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Different ways of wanting to handle issues concerning people who are not even inside the marriage. But I think our own personal issues, like you said before, you really try your best to hear, okay, what's this person trying to tell me? And then even if at first you're like a little bit, you kind of go back and think, okay, well, maybe what they're saying is true. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe I'm not maybe the other person isn't the villain here. Maybe I'm the villain. Maybe there is no villain, right? Sometimes there really is no villain. It's just an issue that you have to work through.
Okay.
Would you say that's correct?
I mean, we're going off script here, but that presents an interesting complication in that both of you, professionals wise, you have unique perspective on how to solve this particular issue. So what do you guys do to resolve it on the spot? I mean, do you take number? All right, last time we went with your idea. Today we're going to go with my idea. Or do we say, listen, I'm the man of the house. This is how it's going to be. How do you guys, pick on a case by case? Oh, well, we'll go with this time. I'm just interested to know.
Try to do the best in the scenario. We don't always agree, because some of the scenarios I'm thinking is like organizational stuff, in-law stuff, kids stuff. Again, like outsider stuff, like just leave us alone so we can live in our bubble.
Unfortunately not.
They're not going to leave you guys alone.
Unfortunately not.
We would happily live in this bubble and we would be at peace with each other and and the world, I think. But I think we tend to just try to pick the best possible scenario in whatever case it is.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And these are obviously things that are the more serious things, not things like, how many hours of screen time should the kid have? Not things like that. I'm talking about like real sort of deeper issues. And we just try to do our best to go with the best possible scenario at the time.
All right.
Would you say that? I mean, he wants to say something.
Oh,
Yeah. No. I mean, well, just pulling rank doesn't work. Right. So I found out that even if there's rank to be pulled, it's better not to pull it and to suffer injustice for a while. No, I'm serious. If you pull the rank, then you suffer. Right? And it doesn't. It doesn't. It fosters resentment, and that can have like far-reaching consequences. So sometimes you take an L to address it later. Yeah.
I'll tell you though, is that not due to your personality? You see what I'm saying? Like you just say, you know what?
Maybe,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Definitely not due to my culture.
that was my next question. Definitely not culture.
Definitely not culture. Yeah, no, not culture. Like it's like, what? Why are you letting the wife talk to you like that?
I know. With the interesting thing about pulling rank, right? So you talk about pulling rank. I've always had this impression that a tiger doesn't have to roar before you know it's a tiger. So for me, the type of person that doesn't say, I'm the man of house, that's the kind of person that gets my respect. I mean, I can't imagine the kind of dynamic we would have if that was the type of thing he was accustomed to. Because I've noticed, and I say this to single people, I know this is kind of wandering off track a little bit, but I'm going to make it short, that you have to look for the person that brings out the best in you, not the person that brings out the beast in you. Men like me bring out the beast in me. So it would not have worked. As you're pulling rank, I will find some rank to pull too. But it's like when you find someone who's not pulling rank, or in fact, sometimes you want to argue and the person is looking at you as if, well, this one is maybe they're not well. You two just keep quiet.
Just calm down.
I don't want to be looked at as if I'm insane.
Yeah. Okay. You went to the next thing because I was gonna say to you that what would you tell couples like in your shoes, right, about effective communication? So one thing that I guess we didn't say at the beginning was that the gray couch, right? Part of the things we touch on are the not differences, but just the things that are what you call intercultural issues, right? So both of you for people who don't know, Dozie is Igbo, Shala is Yoruba. So that's like two different ethnicities. But then at some point, it doesn't matter because we all speak English. Like I tell people, Nigeria, English is our lingua franca, right?
Exactly.
So at that point, it doesn't matter. It just comes in terms of customs and family of origin differences. But what would you tell people in your shoes, right? About effective communication? I mean, both of you have said it here and there, but I'm looking for like one word. What would be one word that you say to people to kind of foster effective communication across cultures, as it were?
Honesty.
Okay. Honesty. Shola, do you have one?
The word I was going to say. Now I have to think of something else.
That's fine. That's how we know the two have become one. Honesty. Okay. Because you cannot what? Honesty is everything. Honesty is everything. You all have heard it, right? Honesty is everything. Be honest. Because I feel like there's no, how they say you have to tell a lie to, cover another lie, right? But if everything is out in the open, there's nothing to cover. Thank you so much.
Is there a time to be honest?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a time to be honest and there's time to refrain from being honest.
Hold on. No, this is sweet. Hold on.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to go off script,
but by refrain from being honest?
Okay.
Like, unless you're saying not being fully honest.
From being completely honest,
Is that because of the person's personality? Or
so some things are better shelved for another day.
Okay.
Sometimes it doesn't fit the situation, right? and a full download might cause a crash.
Yeah.
You do a partial download and then you download the rest.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I don't know. I'm not going to say counterpoint, babe, because, but I have a little bit of a sort of side view to that. So where you should always strive to be honest, because some of those things that don't get downloaded may never get downloaded. And then they now come out as a big blast in some other completely different circumstance. So I agree.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to have
the counterpoints are good. And we actually have that same issue here because I was like, I don't want to do this right now because I'm upset. And we'll do about it later on. But later on, somehow, either I forget the specifics so that even when I say, okay, let's do this. No, that's not what you said. That's not what you said. This one's, hey, so it now like, what's the point? But and with other mindset is that some things are better left when tempers have got a hard time to process. And I guess that has to do with my personality. I need time to process because if I'm right hot there, I might say some things that I will have to eat later on, But then, Shola, I see your point in that sometimes you should have like a fix. So what we would do is that we will send text. These are the issues.
Master text.
This is text. And then when I see the text point by point, I will frame and say, okay, we will talk about this on X date so that there's no statute of limitation. There's a statute of limitation on that.
Yes.
But here's the thing though, when you think about what works for couples, once I've downloaded that thing on text, that's it, right? Like, so it's kind of, I've gotten it out of my mind. But so that when they are talking about it next, it doesn't have the punch that, it might have had if you were talking about it.
But I think it's just wisdom. And I struggle with that because I felt, is that being dishonest? As in not being fully honest at the time. And I don't think so. I think that's wisdom, as in maybe using that phrase, not fully honest, is a bit of a misnomer.
It's a misnomer. A complete one.
Yes, it's not being dishonest to hold something back for a season.
For a season.
Yeah. So, like Shola said, people talk about the blunt truth, I just say it as it is. Sometimes you shouldn't say it as it is.
Yeah.
You say some of it and, I like the idea of the text and all that, however you deal with it. One of the things that I do is if something bothers me, I will either do one of two things. I'll talk about it, or I will file it to talk about it later, or I'll forget about it, right? If I forget about it, then on the condition that I'll never act on it again. Like, so if something bothers me and I say, okay, I'm not going to listen, then it's not going to bother me anymore. Right? I'm not going to be sitting inside and all that. I'm just like, this is not going to bother me and I'm going to let this go. And this is that I'll never bring this up again.
So that's a healthy coping thing
I have to say you and Otito are like that. And for a while, I didn't used to believe her when she would say, it doesn't bother anymore, because if that's me, I'm not saying about it. God help you if the thing pops up later on. Something similar happens. Bam! This is exactly what happened the last time, and it all comes flooding back. But she would say, I've talked about this, it doesn't bother me again. And for a while, I'm like, is this person possible? Really? Is this for real? So I mean, kudos to both of you. No,
until he got the memo to say you better let her talk, because this woman likes to talk. So once she has talked, that's it. So yep.